Hey everyone, welcome to the final call of Playing the Game. I'm Maggie, for those of you that don't know me. If you're new here, welcome. This is my little dating game. Not a competition, but my interpretation of dating as I see it. I'm calling myself a dating ref. I kind of explained all that in the first YouTube segment I did and a little bit on the introduction of my blog. Basically, I'm trying to look at dating from all sides because dating is a one big game. And we all have a different opinion on it, no matter your age, your gender, your sexual orientation. And I am looking at everyone's perspective and giving my own spin on it. There are no rules, there are no right or wrongs. Well, maybe there are wrongs if you're like an asshole, but it's more for me to kind of analyze everyone's thoughts and put my final call out there, which is why I'm calling it the final call. So today I want to talk about kind of all the topics I touched on last week, which was first date etiquette, which ended up being like multiple topics. And I don't want to spend too long talking about like each thing, because I feel like what I want to do later on is really talk about like the bill when you go on a date and like the spark that a lot of people brought up when they messaged me on Instagram. But I kind of just want to talk about general first date etiquette today, like what that means. And it means something different for everyone. And it was really interesting to me to hear everyone's thoughts. So first of all, if you reached out or have been reaching out to me, thank you. Keep doing it. And if you haven't and you have an opinion, please share it. I'm not like naming names or calling people out. This is just kind of for me to take different sides, perspectives, and share them with you guys so you can kind of hear other people's thoughts on dating. And this is my Wine Wednesday. I love wine. I'm drinking a Zinfandel right now. So cheers, let's talk. So first date etiquette. When I first put these questions out on Instagram last week, I wasn't expecting everything to go so many different ways. So I guess some stuff I'm gonna save, but a couple of things really pulled my attention, and one was first date conversations, because everyone thought something different. So if you didn't see my poll, which topics are appropriate on a first date? Kind of some more controversial topics: politics, family drama, gossip, money matters, and your exes. And this is my opinion, by the way. If you disagree, you are welcome to disagree. Comment. Let's debate it. I love it. I love a debate. So something I'm noticing as I'm dating is that I need to have fun on the first date, especially the first date. And it needs to be light. And I think that's something, at least for my generation, I'm noticing is lacking. I think that the millennial generation and probably the Gen Z generation, everyone's so intense because we all are putting our emotions out there and our thoughts out there, and I think that's great. But I think we forgot about the fun of dating, because when I was living in Chicago, by the way, I'm in LA right now, so I just made this big move. But when I was in Chicago, dating was a chore for me. I hated it. It got to the point where I was not really dating, because it was a job. It felt like a job. And dating shouldn't be a job. Now that I'm in LA, there is some excitement being in a new city and wanting to meet new people, but I'm realizing when you kind of take the pressure off, dating's fun. And I think we forget that. And I think part of that is because we all kind of have these like thoughts and feelings, and we want to get them all out there, and then we want to analyze them. Like, well, he talked about his ex, so like, what does that mean? We got the bill, and then we kind of debated who's gonna pay, so does that mean I see him again? Like, all these things we're analyzing so much, and I think that's making dating kind of sucky. So here's my 2 cents. When you're on a first date, I think politics, you should know the other person's political stance, especially in this day and age. And I'm just going to put it out there because I don't care. I'm very liberal. So if I'm on a date with someone and they tell me they're a Trump supporter, I need to know that right away. That's it. That's like a huge deal breaker. And that's kind of a thing where I'm like, I don't really even want to spend time with you. Sorry, I don't want to get, never mind. We can get political. There's no rules, right? I don't really want to talk about Trump. That's my purpose with that. But it's something that I feel like it's okay to talk about right away. Now, if you want to be on a date and get into a huge political debate, and that's in your personality and that's what feels right to you, that's okay. For me, I'm not there. I don't want a political debate on my first date with someone. I want to have fun with someone, get to know someone, think about what our future could be in the sense of like, is this someone I'm going to want to see more? Is this someone that maybe could be a friend? I think before, when I was dating, I went after every date like, this could be my potential like husband. And I think that made dating terrible because, I mean, yeah, I know myself and I know I want to get married someday, but like, also there's so many people out there and I put pressure on one person, like this is going to dictate the rest of my life. But again, so politics, yes. The other thing is, I think if you, and this is information I've just kind of taken from other people because this isn't my background, but I think if you have something kind of more life defining, I don't know if that's the right word, but like a divorce or a kid, I think you need to share that right away. I think that's something important that needs to be out there. But otherwise, I think first date conversations need to be a little lighter. Like, I don't really want to hear about your mom's sister's kid being addicted to drugs and having to be in rehab for this. And that's all important stuff. Not saying it's not. But for a first date discussion with someone I don't know, because remember, you don't know this person really. Unless you're dating like an old friend, you guys decide to date, which is kind of a different topic. I'm talking more of like a general first date where you don't really know the other person. I feel like when you get emotionally dumped on a little bit early on, it's a turnoff. To put it into perspective for me, I've mentioned it before, I'm like 6-7 months out of kind of a shitty relationship. And I've learned a lot about myself from that. But I've also learned that like, I know what it feels like to be emotionally dumped on, and I don't want that. So if I get that on a first date, that's not really what I'm looking for. That being said, if you are looking for a relationship, eventually you're gonna have to learn about the other person's shit. We all have shit. We all have baggage. That's a given. But you want to have fun on a first date. Take the pressure off. Relax. Get to know this person that could be like someone amazing in your life. And the same thing I think goes for like money matters and like random exes. Like no one wants to hear about you bitch about like your ex-girlfriend or whatever. I think if you are really connecting with this person and you both are kind of on the same page and you're having a couple drinks and the conversation shifts that way and you both kind of own that, that's cool. But I don't know if many initial first dates go like that. At least they haven't for me. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Splitting the bill, I don't really want to talk too much about that because that was like a wild, Instagram went wild when I put that out. We all have a lot of opinions on splitting the bill. But I will say that I think depending on your take on that, you just have to own what you're putting out there. So if you are someone that likes to split the bill on a first date, cool. There's nothing wrong with that, but just own it. When you get the check, don't play footsie with the check. Don't be like, oh, I don't know. And then the other person's like, oh, I don't know. And then you leave the date kind of like, what was that? So I think you just kind of have to like own your actions when you're on a date. Be you. And that's my like motto with a lot of what I do: be you. If splitting the bill is your jam because you're like, I don't really know you that well, we're looking at us both being equals, then okay, cool. But just do that. Not everyone believes that it needs to be like a chivalry thing or like, like a power thing. Just own your actions. Hold on, I need more wine. The other thing I kind of want to talk about is how we get that connection on a first date, or if it exists. And that was kind of something that was very 50-50 when I pulled it. I do believe you can get a connection on the first date. I can also see that that doesn't always happen and it takes some time. Every relationship is different. Something though that really stuck out to me, one of my followers who's married wrote in that her first date with the man who's now her husband, it felt like she was with an old friend and they just had fun. And I think that's kind of what we're all looking for. We're looking for someone that feels like an old friend in a good way. And I think when we put on these like fronts, that kind of prevents connection. And I think we also have to remember that you're not going to be romantically connected to everyone you meet. That's okay. And I think, even me, like I have a hard time not getting that. I've been on dates with guys that I was like, oh my God, this guy is great. I can't wait to go on more dates with him. And he didn't feel the same way. And did I feel it down? Yes. But also it's one date or 2 dates. I think the more you are your authentic self, the more someone else is going to see that and really like it and want to see you a second time. I think the more we put on this like front of like, oh, what are we doing? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Or should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I agree to pay? Should I not agree to pay? I think that makes the energy awkward. We all can read other people's energies, right? We all can tell, when someone's not totally comfortable. I even went through this a little bit. I went through a period where I was like, when I was on a date, I like would swear. I was afraid to laugh loud. I have a really loud laugh. I was afraid to go to the bathroom. And that's not me. And I'm not saying you have to like blow up like a, swear like every other word and like, make a scene. But like, I'm going to say fuck on a first date. I know I am because that's just who I am. And I think that's part of what makes dates fun. We're forgetting how to have fun on dates, on first dates. I'm just talking about the first date. Okay, so yes, I think that kind of covers for now all I want to say about first date etiquette. The spark thing, I don't think the spark is all in our heads. I think it can be. I think sometimes we feel a spark with someone, and when they don't feel the spark back, it builds in our heads because we think it's like exciting, like the chase. But I think when you find the person you're really supposed to connect with, the spark goes both ways and it links to connection. Do I think that if you don't have a first immediate connection with someone, you should not give them a second date? Not necessarily. I think it depends. I think you also have to know you. I'm at the point where I kind of know after like 1 or 2 dates if I really want to keep seeing this person. I've dated a lot. I know my energy really well. I know my gut instinct really well. And I think that when I feel that connection, I know it. And if it's not there, then I'm not going to waste my time. Because now I'm at the point where I just want to meet so many people. And I think that we all kind of have to have this attitude of like, dating is cool. Like there's so many people out there that we can meet and could have a purpose in our lives that maybe isn't even romantic. So let's go for it. Let's put ourselves out there. So yeah, that was my first date etiquette general analysis. The other things are kind of givens. Don't be an asshole to the waitstaff. Have good manners. The tone that you put out for the first date is the tone that you're putting out for the whole relationship. Basically, if you're a dick to the waitress on the first date, the girl or the guy is going to see that and be like, well, if they're mean now, what are they going to be like in 6 months? Okay, so don't want to make this too long. I do want to talk a little bit about this week's topic, which is meeting people and approaching people. This is interesting, especially being in COVID. So I want to blend the two together. I was actually surprised. I asked today on Instagram. I'm filming this on a Tuesday, even though this is Wine Wednesday. I asked today on Instagram if people who were single felt like it was different meeting people now during COVID than before. I was surprised so many people said that it felt different. I feel like meeting people has been kind of the same. The only thing that's different is like you can't meet people at bars. Dating is different. Dating, the energy of dating feels different, but like the initial meet of someone feels kind of the same. But I've been asking a bunch of different questions about where to go to meet people, what we like to do to meet people, the apps. Gonna get into all of that. I feel like the apps could be like 5 different segments on analyzing dating apps in this day and age, and then approaching people. Something I really want to get into is the different, so I identify as straight. I really want to talk about girls approaching guys and how straight men feel about that. Is it a turnoff? Do they like it? Is it true that if a guy really wants to ask you out, he will ask you out? I want to talk about that. I also really want to talk about if you identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, non-binary, like what is the protocol for approaching people? Because I've never really asked, and I feel like it's probably different. So I want to get into all of that, and I think that's kind of an important thing, because if we don't approach someone, we're never going to date them. We're never going to even know if this could go anywhere. And if you're on a dating app and you use that as a way to like approach someone, what's the protocol there? Do you just say hey? Do you reach out to someone because like why do you swipe someone on a dating app? Is it looks? There's no wrong answer. We are attracted to certain people. Is it something that they write? And then approaching people just in general, like, are you comfortable going up to someone at a bar? At the grocery store? At the gym? I'm a trainer, so the gym is, kind of considered like a place you can go meet people. So I have a lot of opinions about going up to people at the gym that I will probably be sharing more next week. But yeah, it's an interesting time. It's definitely an interesting time, and meeting people is something that I feel like we all bitch about. It's so hard to meet people. It's so hard to meet people. And my parents have always they've always told me to try to join like a club or a common interest group to meet people. And I always feel like they don't exist. Do they exist? Are any of you out there in groups that have met people? The one thing I'm not talking about this week is like the idea of like being friends first. That's a different topic. I want to go there, but not right now. And the other thing is like dating people at work that you work with, because I think that's like a different issue too. Although you can meet people at work. How many people out there have met someone that they've dated that they met through work? It is a common interest, right? You guys are in the same environment. I've also done that. Can't say I'm for it. So we're gonna get into all that. We've been getting into it this week. I appreciate all the feedback I've been getting so far. I hope you guys are liking these Wine Wednesdays. Trying to cut out, I don't like them to be too long because no one needs to hear me talk and drink wine for like hours on end. I also, I'm putting it out there, I would like to maybe do an IG live at some point, and that way I can get a little bit more interaction and you guys can let me know your thoughts on whatever is going on in the dating world. So playingthegamela.com is my blog. Maggie.priori is my Instagram handle, where I kind of throw out all my questions and thoughts. But I'll be doing blog posts every Saturday. I already have a couple on there. Saturday is date night, so I felt like that was an appropriate day. Instagram is all the time. And then of course Wine Wednesdays are on Wednesdays. So yeah, if you have any questions about dating, comments about dating, thoughts about dating, or you need advice, or you just need to like vent, this is your safe zone. So you can talk to me, you can kind of put stuff out there and see if other people comment. I want this to be a place where people can come to talk about dating, because I feel like, and I said this in the first episode, we don't have a place where we can really do that. And I think now more than ever we need something to kind of like bring us together. So what better way to do that than through dating and relationships? Anyway, signing off for now. These were my thoughts. This was my final call, but you know, things could change. Everything in dating I feel like is fluid. I'm always learning something new. I'm always kind of getting a different perspective. I'm the ref, so you know, I could overrun a call. All right, this was fun. Cheers, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next week. Bye.